G'day folks. Well, I've got my timing case and water pump bolted on, and I have my oil pan as well all buttoned up. That's my modified sump. Originally that sump held around 6 litres. I can't even think of the name of it. It's a high energy, that's what it was. And it held, like I said, around 6 litres. Well, since I've modified it, as you can see there, the lower part boxed it right out. We hold not quite 10 litres of oil. And like in that other video where I showed you the pickup extended down around 30 mil. So we've got heaps of storage now, which is fantastic. And I really contribute the extra bit, the step around, the whole lot is a great, it's like a baffle. It sort of holds that oil in position because it's so deep now. I've had no issues with it. Gee, it's been fantastic. It's unreal. It's a pain to pull the engine out. I can't move the engine forward. I've sort of got to pull the gearbox back a little bit, the transmission, and then I can lift the engine straight out. But you know, a little sacrifice, but it's well worth it. Little trick I do, guys. It's a bit unorthodox, but I got this from a guy years ago. He said, I put a little bit of silicone and smear it before I put the pan on between the cork gasket. And then once I do the bolts up, not too tight, I do it in a 2-stage. Just enough to get a little bit of crush on it. I let it dry. Then the next day I go around and I seal all the edges right around, even on the back of the sump. Because I used to have, years ago, have a little bit of leakage always around the back where the main cap bolts to the block in that area there. They give you these tiny little square rubber, little rubber cushions or blocks they are, and you put in between, there's a little divot in there, but I always seem to sort of be a bit weepy around there. But ever since I've done this little trick, I've had no leaks. It's only plain roof and gutter, guys. Works a treat for me, so I'll stick with that formula. It's great. I've put one head on. I've got it all torqued up. As you know, when the engine's done a heat cycle or two, just running it, we're not going to obviously put any boost into it. We just run it and do it like a heat cycle or two, then I'll re-torque the head. Only downfall with the aluminium heads. But you know, it is what it is. It's a bit of a pain, but it's well worth doing. Anyway, I thought we'll show you guys on how I bolt this head on, and a bit of a chat and whatever else pops up into my mind as we're going. But I want to make a mention, guys. I've just put some pictures up on my Instagram. Look, guys, if you want to have a quick look at it. It's not a private account, so even if you just type that in, TurboGriff 4, you'll see some little update pics on this carb hat that Simon's producing. Goodness me, he's doing a beautiful job. It's unbelievable. I put all my build pics up too there, guys, so if you're interested, jump on, have a bit of a look. It's worth a look. All right. Well, let's get stuck into it. I'll show you this, guys, before I start on the head. This is my oil pump, my modified one that I did there a while back. All the orifices of ground and rounded things off. I've match ported. I wonder if that's coming on the screen. Yeah, there you go. I've match ported this to the block, and they're not a bad little pump. These are only a standard volume. You can see how I've sort of radiused it all around there, and especially around the filter area. As the oil comes out into the filter, it's got great flow potential now, and I've ported, you can take this bit out, and I've ported down inside there as well. So I've done videos on it, guys. It's on my I think it's on my playlist. If you look on my channel page, you'll see the oil pump mod. I've done a stage 1 and a stage 2. So that really helps for flow, and it's amazing because I get really good oil pressure down low, which is really nice, you know. 2000, sort of 1500, 2000, it really ramps up, and I contribute that to that pump. Incredible. Alright, well, we've got the studs in. I've gone back from, I used some thread sealer, this stuff here, I'm not happy with it. It actually stopped the water coming through, because on all these ones along here, they go into the water jackets, and these two outer ones, the 3 on the inside on these lower ones don't, and these don't. I've gone back to silicone. Guys, if you know of any product that doesn't, troubles with this, goes rock hard, and it makes a bloody mess when you're trying to pull it apart again. Yes, it works, but it makes a mess, and I don't think I'll use it again. So if you know of any other stuff, guys, that you're happy with and have had success with, that doesn't go rock hard on you, I would like to know about it. Alright, let's pop the head on. Before I go, these are only Felpro blue gaskets. They're about 40 thou thick, and I suppose by the time you'll probably lose a few thou by the time they crush. But because our piston's now 5 thousandths below the deck, say 5 thou crush, roughly 40 thousandths from the head. So, just a little note to self. These are my little Dash 3 high port early style heads. These are Yellow Terra. Beautiful, Australian made. They're a wicked set of heads, you know, especially for the 355. They've just got so much throttle response, it's incredible, because they don't have the huge runners, the volume, but they've got the great design, and coupled to boost, it doesn't really matter. You're blowing it in. Nice. Alright, we're going to lube up our oh, hang on, before I go crazy on that one, I'm going to put a towel in here, because I don't want to be dropping any nuts or washers down in the valley. I'll never get them out. So I'll do that first to protect that. And we'll drop our washers on. I ran a crowd in Brisbane, up in Queensland. ZOK race carbs. I'm thinking about getting my carb modified to suit the E85. I'll just pop these on and I'll show you what I mean. You might get a bit distracted here, but I want to share all this with you. You can buy conversion kits, guys, for them, but there is a potential, and I'll show you now. There is a potential, well, there might be fuel in here, I don't know. There is a potential for these boosters not to flow enough fuel. I have found out that there can be a potential problem for these boosters. So saying that, I'm thinking about getting this guy to modify this one for me to suit. So I'm in the thinking process. I'm talking to another guy. We're talking to George. We're just weighing up options and just going through the process, and we're going to see which way is the best way to go. So yes, there'll be something to do in the coming days or a week away. I will fire it up and get it running on pump fuel, just to make sure we've got oil pressure and everything's happy. I'd like to do that first before I send the carby away, and we'll go from there, guys. So yes, exciting. So it's about, I won't say the price, but it's definitely cheaper than a new carb. But he was saying even a new carb, you can strike problems of the boosters not flowing enough. So we'll do a bit more research and look into it, because I want to do it right the first time, guys. I don't want to sort of learn later and make any little mistakes, because I'm getting over these mistakes. It gets bloody expensive. So we're gonna dive into that side of it, and I am thinking about getting the car dyno tuned, just to get me a bass tune when it comes to the E85, and we'll see. We'll just go from there, and I think that's going to be a sensible way forward for me, rather than trying to learn on the track. It's just something I wouldn't mind doing, and just getting a feel for and learning as much as I can. I do know of a bloke that's a very experienced, and he's got earmuffs for the detonation, and he's very into E85 himself, and he races Nissan GTR down at the track, down at the local track, and he's got a business, so it sounds like he's a very switched on man, and I would have loved Blair to take it over there, mate. I tell you, I keep saying it, if you were closer, you'd be the man. But unfortunately, it's not as easy for me just to jump on a boat and bring the car over. I've got commitments back here with my family, but I'm going to get over there one day, Blair, don't worry. But I'm looking like I'm going to have to get it dyno, just for peace of mind, and learn too. So that'll be exciting. We've never seen it on the dyno, and it'll be nice just to see where she's at, what sort of power she's making, and what timing she likes, because I know on pump fuel I was 20 degrees. Well, that might have been a bit aggressive with the setup I had with the new turbo position, and that carb hat, that was all playing up. So goodness me, that carb hat's going to be unbelievable. You're doing a good job, mate. Oh, tell you, it's a wicked bit of gear. We've lost our summer. Would have been into February. So end of February we're going back into autumn. So at the minute, guys, it hasn't been warm. I mean, I've got my top off, but it's around 18, 19 degrees Celsius, maybe 20. But it was down to 6 degrees Celsius this morning when I woke up. So it's all right, but I would have liked a little bit longer with some warmer weather, but we do generally, guys, get really nice autumns here. Very calm, very settled. It's really nice. Don't cringe, guys. I'm only just nipping these, just gently as. Just saves me spinning the old. I'm not doing them up by any means. Just taking up the slack. I've got a great idea, folks, on my other engine build that I'm doing, going to do probably over the winter months. I'm staying stock stroke 308, but I've got most of the bits. So I'm quite keen to build that one up as well, and do some little tricks on that. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but geez, I'm starting to know these little motors now. Well, this little one anyway. So, alright, well this is how I do it. It's not gospel. 80 foot-pound is max. And I'll do a 60, 70 and 80. And I generally just work my way out. Boom. These two top ones, guys, as you can see here, you only put around 55 pound on them. So I won't touch them until last. It's a funny design because my other block's actually broken through here, guys, where they've obviously torqued it to the same spec and broken and sheared this lumpy part off here where the bolt goes into. So we'll only put 55 on them. But the main, so there's 10 main studs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then you've got these two ones that you only put a little bit on them. But like I said, we'll do them last. So what my first stage is, I'll just snug them all up. That's all I do. Don't go too crazy. I don't even put 60 on them. I just tighten them up a little bit. Just get them down on the you know, just take up the slack. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the build as much as I am. I'm loving this. This is the exciting bit, putting things back together. It's going back together beautifully too. I'm very pleased with the process so far. I'll go to 60 pound. You can see that, guys. I'll just move it over a little bit so you can see. I'll just check it's still in screen. Yep. Put my foot down there to stop the little trolley from moving, the stand. There we go. That's a 60 pound. Flick it off. There is a sequence you can do, but all I do is just work my way from the inside outwards. I'm back over here. And you've got to use that lubricant that they use. I think it's a graphite. This is the stuff here. I've ended up buying a bigger tube of it. Any of the ARP fasteners, you've got to coat up the threads and the bottoms of the nuts, just so you get a good, well, it gives you a chance for a good even torque reading, because it'd be very inconsistent if you never had the lubricant. I know a lot of people use oil, and I think engine oil you've got to go up a little bit more, but I'll just stick with this. Here we go, that's 60. £70, and what's that in Newton meters, just for argument's sake? It's about 97, 98, 90, oh no, sorry, 95. So 70 foot-pound is 95 newts. It's not much of a turn in 10 pound. There's no way, guys, I could afford to pay someone to do all this. It'd be completely out of my reach, racing cars. But saying that, I think I've done that one. No. This is really good stuff. I love doing this. And I know a lot of you guys that are watching would be the same too. Well, that's 70 pound. Let's do 80. Always makes me nervous for some reason, 80 pound. I remember I've done it 75 as, for some reason, the confidence. I don't know. I've just got this vision of me ripping the studs out of the block. But I've got to get over that fear. It's 80. Yeah. I hope you can see, guys. There we go. Hooking up nice. There we go. Beautiful. Love the sound of that click. Lovely. It's funny, you know, when I do a couple of heat cycles, I've got to turn it, not on all of them, probably a third. I've got to give them a little turn, probably about an eighth. You know, just to, must be the aluminium must just swell a little bit and crush the gasket a little bit more, and you've just got to go over and snug them down again. I never used to do it on the cast heads. Alright, so we'll go back to 55 on these two bolts, on these two studs. That's all we need. Nip it up. We don't need to go crazy on these ones. That's it. It's heaps. You've got to remember too, that's a fine thread, and you're getting a lot of torque off a fine thread, because you know the bolts or the thread in the block is quite coarse, and using bolts you can twist the bolt and it'll sort of lock up on you, and then I suppose it'll spring back. I don't know, but yeah, this is a better way of doing it if you want a little bit extra clamping. So there you go, guys, the head is on. I've put the lifters in, and I've used the lube on them. The Penrite, it's got plenty of zinc in it, so that's what I've used on the bottoms of the lifters. So I'll sit that there and pop the push rods in. And I'll pop the valve train on. I've set all these two last time. I set them up so when they were just touching, when the lifter was down, I was just putting them on so they as soon as they just touch on here with the rocker, I was giving it one turn, and that just puts that tiny little bit of preload on it. Yeah. So I did check them before, but if it's a little bit noisy, I suppose next time I'll adjust them up again. Because when I retorque the head, I've got to take this set off and that set off. Yes, I can get to the centre ones, but this edge one, these two edge ones here, I can't do it because of the rocker. These are nice rockers, guys. These are Yellow Terra 1.65 ratio. It's their platinum version. Really nice rocker. I think they're about $1,000 or something. I paid for them. I think back in the day I paid, oh geez, it was about $3.9, about $4 for the heads. And I think you can get them now. Oh, don't quote me on it, guys. I can't remember, to be honest. God, they're good heads. Always wanted a set. Oh, for nearly 20 odd years. Dave Bennett had the heads, or he was doing the heads, I think, and then Yellow Terror bought him out. But I remember years ago, when I was a young fella, that there was a bloke down at the drags. So I used to go down there occasionally and watch him, and he was running. I'm not even sure if they were Highport heads, but they were the alloy version, the Dave Bennett's, and he was running 11 in a Tirana, stock stroke 308. He was running 11 twos. I don't think he cracked a 10 from memory at the time. I think when he sold it, the other fella may have cracked a 10 second in it, but yeah, he was running low 11s, which was a pretty good effort, really. That's where the power is, guys, in the heads, and you know, like I said, a bit of comp as well, and gotta let them breathe. They've got to breathe. That's why I love turbos, guys, because it's just so easy to make power. It really is. It's ridiculous. All right. Just check them all, make sure they're all seated in. That one's still got to go down a fair bit. I've repainted my manifold, my inlet manifold, dressed it up a little bit nicer again. Painted it black. I do like it black. It looks really nice. And I've painted my pulleys, just freshened them up a little bit. You don't get it. It's the only time you sort of get a chance. And I did grind that down too, guys. I had to grind that down so when it'll clear that sort of part of the rocker. I struggled there. I imagine having big lift. I mean, this camshaft's only 496 or 8 lift. Imagine getting a 550, 600 plus lift. You'd almost have to turn the motor over to get it off the load. We're only running a little street cam. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. No big lift. It's a Crane 230. I think it's a 112 load separation. Yeah, and 496 I think the lift is. So it's really only a little street cam. But it seems to work really well with the boost. There you go, nearly done. Once I do the heat cycles, obviously we're going to re-torque the head. I'll check all these again, make sure everything's to spec. My next phase is my oil pump. Balancer will go on the front. Manifold and should be time to get it on the chain off the engine crane, put the flex plate on it, and yeah, it'll be nearly ready to bolt in. So the next video, guys, will be probably, I might even set the camera up and see how we go. I'll set him up and we might sort of have a fluff around. I'm getting my son to help me, so in the next day or two, it'll be, with a bit of luck, we'll be sitting it in the engine, in the car. Plus, guys, I've got my oil cooler to put on. I'll show you all that, and we'll go from there. I'll keep you updated on the carby too, which will be very interesting. I'm going to try and work something out at least this week, so we know what we're up against. Alright guys, well I hope you're enjoying the journey. I'll put one up soon. I'll catch you later.